It's so awesome to see you here today, and I commend you for taking the time to invest in yourself and your business and really finding ways to take your business to the next level and give yourself more freedom. I'm Cammie Allen. I am the founder and CEO of Entrepreneur's Secret Partner. And just a little bit about me, I started Entrepreneur's Secret Partner back in 1993 as Satellite Organizing Solutions. And I would organize people's offices. And so I would drive all over town and organize their office. And I'd go into their office and they would say, I need help with creating a spreadsheet, or I need help with my website or my books. And I would say, I can help you with that, because I was doing those things for myself, for my own business. And so I started doing those things for other clients. And so I rebranded myself to Satellite Secretary. This was way before online technology gave us the ability to do virtual assisting. And so I was actually going around to people's offices each week and providing services to them. And then technology caught up, and I was able to go virtual and help people all across the country instead of just near me. And I did that for a whole lot of years. And then last year, I was nearing burnout. I was getting to the place where I couldn't take on any more clients. I was facing the thing of trying to raise my prices, and will I raise them too much and not have clients, but I need more time. It was a mess. And so I decided at that point to join a coaching group and learn how to do things differently. And so I decided at the end of the year that I was going to stop providing virtual assistant services and do things from a more global and strategic perspective. And so still Entrepreneur's Secret Partner, but I now help people identify the priorities and objectives that are most important to them in their business right now. And I help them create a plan to get to those objectives, including the resources they might need, whether that's a piece of software, a person, a system, whatever it might be. I help identify those resources. In some cases, I help procure them. And then I also help make sure everything gets done. So my clients delegate to me, we create the plan, and then they can go do their thing, and I make sure everything happens. And I'm really loving it. So it's been a great change for me. And I'm excited to launch. This is our first workshop. And so I'm super excited to launch this with Kim and help people really think through these things. And to be honest, Kim and I needed to think through it for ourselves. We realized that we're really good at telling other people what to do with their businesses and helping them to create those systems. But there's some areas where we could do better. And so this has been a great exercise for us as well, going through this, preparing for this workshop. And so with that, I will turn it over to Kim and I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you. It's really fun to hear about your background and how you ended up where you are. I am fairly new in the entrepreneurial space. I spent more decades than I'm going to admit to in various professional roles, more than 20 years in healthcare leadership positions. So medical records, health information management. So lots of opportunity to gain experience with process improvement, implementing systems, writing policies and procedures. Things like human resource management, budgeting, vendor relationships, just making technology work for us. That was one of the best things that I was able to do, is look at what are the systems that we have access to and how do we make them work for us. Sometimes, most often, I was in a position where there just wasn't money to spend on a lot of new things. So let's take what we have. Let's look at its capacity and capabilities. What do we need to accomplish and how can we make it work for us? Mm-hmm. Occasionally there was big money to be spent. And so that was kind of fun to be able to look at, well, what is the system or the tool that's going to be most effective for us? What is it that's going to be able to help us to get to the place that we want to be? And then work with the vendors and end users on getting that set up. getting it in place, putting all the pieces together, helping people know how to use it in their job. That's been a lot of fun. So about 2 years ago, I set out on my own, similar to you. I started out with a VA model, general administrative work, and gradually realized that systems is what I really enjoy. The opportunity to talk with someone about what they're wanting to accomplish in their business. So doing that strategy with them to determine where are they, where do they want to get, what's their comfort level with technology, all that sort of thing, then help them implement those tools, working with their processes in their business, and then providing ongoing support after the setup is complete. So I've enjoyed that, and I'm really looking forward to this opportunity to go through this exercise. I think the premise was really interesting to me, and as you said, it was, oh, I really probably ought to get some of this stuff together for myself, for my own business. So thank you for this. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, and I'm so excited to have you here and really learn from your systems expertise. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be great, and I know everybody else will benefit from it too. So we are going to start by taking some time and doing a little imagination exercise. So I want you to imagine that you have been whisked off to this beautiful remote island, and you had no notice that you were going. You had no time to prepare, no time to tell anyone that you were leaving, and you have no access to anything. No phone, no computer, nothing. And here you are on this beautiful island. How do you feel? What's happening with clients trying to get in touch with you? Is your product or service able to be delivered without you there? How do your clients and vendors and associates feel when they don't hear back from you? And how are you feeling? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling relaxed? Are you feeling stressed out? What kind of feelings come up when you think about this? Like, nobody's going to hear from me. I'm here. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, and my business is there. What's going through your mind? So just take a second, really think about that. Jot down a couple notes if you want, and then we're going to review. Okay, so what happened? What happened with your clients that were trying to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So for me, my clients at least would get a canned response. Thanks for reaching out. We'll be in touch. New people that would come to me through my website would get that. Thank you. We've got your message. We'll be in touch. Follow-up questions is going to be more of a challenge. You know, if someone's looking for a personal response, a specific response to a question, in my perspective, in my case, it's not going to happen because I am the only one in my business. So this is a real eye-opening exercise for me. I'm the service provider.
Yes.
I provide my service all by myself. So if I'm not there, nobody's getting service.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
money's not coming in.
So it's hard to enjoy this all expense paid visit to this beautiful tropical island because I don't know what's going to be waiting for me. When I get so
yeah. And I think that's a reality for many of us is we really don't, it's just us. We don't have a backup plan per se. And so, yeah, it can be a little bit scary, but we're going to help today.
Yes.
So the next thing we're going to do, just real quick, I think that it's really important to understand the current state of your business, to have a really firm grasp on reality. As my client would say, that she's a resilience expert. She wrote a book on resilience, and she says one of the characteristics of a resilient company is having a firm grasp on reality. So it's not whether the glass is half full or half empty. It's that it's an 8-ounce glass with 4 ounces of water in it.
Right.
And just looking at what the reality of the situation is. So we're gonna do this little assessment to get a real firm grasp on reality. So what I want you to do, I'm going to read these questions, and I just want you to score yourself a 1 or a 0. So if you answer yes to the question, you get 1 point. If you would answer no to the question, you get no points. So the first question is, I have a team, employees and or contractors whom I delegate tasks to. I have a well-documented operations manual or processes that can guide my team in my absence. All tasks and roles in my business are clearly defined and understood by relevant team members. My team is capable of making important decisions without my input. My business has a documented contingency plan for unexpected scenarios. For example, unexpected absences, a major client pulling out, etc. My business has sufficient financial reserves to cover expenses for at least 3 months without any new income. Ouch. My clients can receive high-quality services or products without my personal involvement. I have reliable, trustworthy resources, people, processes, or automation in place that can run the business in my absence. There are systems and processes that ensure the business operates smoothly on a daily basis. There is a clear plan for business growth that can be followed without my client supervision, without my direct supervision. Sorry. I have delegated operational tasks so I can focus on the strategic areas of my business. So tally up your score. 1 point for every yes, 0 points for every no. Okay, so show of hands, 0 to 3. Okay, so this is 0 to 3 points. Your business is highly dependent on you. Yes, we know this. It's time to start building systems and processes and consider delegating tasks. If you have 4 to 6 points, are there any of those? Your business has some resilience, but there's still much room for improvement. Identify the areas where you score low and focus on them. And if you have 7 to 10 points, congratulations, you can leave now. But just kidding. Your business is pretty resilient and can likely thrive even in your absence. But this is a great opportunity to continue to reassess and learn new things and see how maybe you can even take things to another level. So this is just meant to be a starting point to help you identify the areas that you might need strengthening. And I hope you'll use it as a tool to really analyze your business and do some strategic planning.
Yep.
So what did you learn from that?
There's a lot of work that I need to get done. So as long as I'm here, as long as I'm healthy, as long as I'm, on 2 feet, I'm doing okay. So there are definitely things that I will be making some changes on, for sure. Again, because I am a service provider, I may not be able to continue to bring in additional money, but at least I can stay in contact with my clients. I think that's going to be a really big thing that I can do. And ideally, at some point, I'd be able to have someone take on some of this for me. So this is really a great exercise to look at. Where are those things that I can delegate so that we continue to have at least a bit of income coming in?
Yes. Yes.
And making sure that someone is communicating appropriately to my clients. So this is a lot of good food for thought and strong places for me to look at, strong things that are setting me in the right direction for what do I need to get done, what do I want to accomplish.
Yes, it does give you a really clear roadmap, I think. And, one thing that really isn't in here, but I think should be, is what can we do? And as we have more free time, maybe this would be something that we can begin to create, is what could we do that would be evergreen, so to speak, that would be something that we could, a product or something that we could provide that doesn't require us to, aside from maybe recording a video like this, beyond that, the person can do it on their own, and they don't need us. And so it still brings in income, and it is a way to have things continue without our physical involvement. And so that's another thing for me that it really brought home, was I need to start innovating and thinking about other opportunities to provide value and service to my clients that doesn't rely solely on me to do.
That diversification, absolutely.
Yes, yeah. So now we're going to move into sort of the pillars of autonomy and the things that really help us be sustainable. And so there's basically four areas, excuse me, where businesses are generally vulnerable, and that's single point of dependency. That's you or me being the only person in the show. A lack of documented and systems and processes, poor delegation or task allocation, a lack of a succession plan, and financial insufficiency. And so of those, we're really going to focus on those top three, and really addressing those vulnerabilities. It's such a hard word for me to say. And look at how we can do that better. And hopefully doing those things better will help us with the bottom two. So self-sustainability and the concept of working on your business and not in your business is kind of the lens that we're going to take with this. And I'm sure everybody's heard that phrase, right? You need to be working on your business and not in it. And creating systems, establishing processes, delegating effectively, all those things can allow business owners to step away from the day-to-day running of the business. And there is a difference between working on your business and working in it. When you're working in your business, you're involved in the day-to-day tasks, the things that keep the business running. And I mean, that could be everything from sales and marketing to accounting and inventory control. And so you get really mired in the weeds, and you don't really have that opportunity to do what you got into business to do, right? And so we really want to shift to working on the business, which means that you're focused more on strategic planning and the higher level decisions that affect the direction of your business. Planning for the future, innovation and creation, like I mentioned, and delivering your skill, delivering the thing that you got into business to do. So it's really, really important that we begin to shift that balance of how much we're working on versus how much we're working in. And so we're going to, like I said, focus on systems, processes, and delegation. And there's really a balance here for these three things. And I had a really pretty graphic, and I don't know what happened to it. And achieving it is crucial. It will help you get where you want to go. And so the steps really to get there are that we want to build strong systems and processes. We want to learn to delegate tasks appropriately, and then streamline any remaining tasks that we're keeping for ourselves. How can we do them more efficiently or better so that we're not getting mired down in those things? And the goal is not to completely remove yourself from the operations of your business. Rather, it's to ensure that your business can run smoothly without your constant presence and intervention. This frees you.
Yeah. But it's not taking you away.
Yes.
Completely, but freeing you up.
Yeah. So then you can focus on your gifts and talents and, those things that bring in the money, kind of important. And so as we see here, really the benefits of the transition are that we can grow our businesses, we can have more free time, and whether that's free time to work on our business or free time to spend with our loved ones, it will create less stress and burnout and give you that ability to innovate and create new products or processes. And it will increase your customer engagement and satisfaction, because you will have processes in place to ensure that your customers are taken care of and receiving the best experience they can. And that's always good for business. So it's important. So the first thing we're going to talk about is building those systems and processes. And so, Kim, this is your area of expertise, and I'm really excited to hear what you have to share with us today. I know it's going to be brilliant. So I'll let you take it from here.
So one of the things that people ask about is systems and processes. Aren't they interchangeable? Aren't they one and the same thing? And they're really not. I've done a fair bit of searching on trying to find a real clear, solid definition of system versus process. And it's a little bit muddy. So what I've taken on for myself is that systems are made up of processes. The processes are the steps that you follow to accomplish the tasks that you need to get done on a regular basis. They go into building those systems that then allow you to reach a consistent desired result. And I think those two things are important.
Yes.
The systems give you consistency and your desired result. It's not haphazard. It's not going to be different every time, which goes back to the increased customer satisfaction, because you're giving them a consistent result every time. So we want to look at how do those processes and systems work together in your business. Your business is really a collection of, it's a complex system made up of a lot of other simpler systems working together. It's key to understand how they work together. I was thinking this week about an example. This is years ago, many years ago. But so I was responsible for the file room for a hospital and its associated clinics. Multiple systems worked together there, and multiple processes went into each system. For example, just to pick one, our filing system utilized a particular numbering convention and a standard size file folder so that you could keep track of things. That was, some of the basic things that we needed to have in place. Processes within that file system included creating a new file folder for each patient, sorting them so they could be placed on the shelves. And there was another system used for pulling records for patient visits. That system included tools and processes. Tools like software, which tracked the visits, and then printed a sheet of paper for each visit that was coming up. We used carts for transporting the records. We used barcode scanners. We used a courier service to transport records back and forth between the file room and the hospital. Those were tools in the system. And processes in the system included sorting those visit sheets by file number, locating each record as we progressed through the file room in a systematic manner, instead of haphazardly just crossing back and forth to look for the next thing on our stack. Using the barcode scanners to check the records out. So you get the picture. There's tools and processes involved in this system. And you think of, so in a medical records department, you can imagine there are multiple systems working together. Medical records department is a part of a larger, much larger health system. So all of these pieces are playing together to support the overall very complex system of a healthcare system. That may not be, it's probably not the world that most of us are living in today, but it gives an example of the interconnectivity between the tools and the processes and the different systems.
And still there's the same things today. They're just maybe electronic instead of a physical file. So they don't take up so much space, but you still have to have, all of those components, a naming convention and you know, a way to go through all of that. So I think it's still very relevant. It's just, you know, the medium
Right.
is
Right.
different.
And I wanted to use that example also because frequently people, when you say system, they think about software. And it's not wrong. It's just not the whole picture. Very likely you're going to be using a piece of software as a part of your system. So I put together a activity to go through here that people could look at. I think I'm going to share my screen for this. Okay. So this document, and we'll make this available in the chat so that you can take it and use it for yourself. I've provided just a few examples, maybe make it a little bit bigger so people with bad eyes like mine can see it better. So this first column are business functions. So what's most important to you in your business? I've listed some as examples, but they may not be what's most important in your business. But for example, billing and receiving payments, communication, maybe one that people don't think about as a system in their business, but it really is. Customer service, onboarding, either for your clients or your team, order fulfillment if you are selling products, scheduling and project management. They may be some of the key functions that you wanted to look at in your business. So then moving forward to make sense of those, as you want to put systems in place that are going to help you to be able to do some of that delegation or step away and let somebody else handle something, or just know what you need to be focusing on a day-to-day basis. You want to look at, have I mapped out the steps? Do I know what my process really is? Have I taken the time to map that out? Have you documented those steps, or are they just residing in your head? Ideally, you have them listed somewhere so that someone else can gain the benefit of that. Mm-hmm. And then what tools, if any, have you put in place to help? So my example here of billing and receiving payments, I do have those steps mapped out. I have them in my Google Drive. I have a business process document. Thanks to Cami, I fleshed that out just a bit more here in recent days. But I do have a document there that sort of lists, here are my processes. For me, I use currently HoneyBook and Google Sheets to handle my billing and payment receipts. And then I spent a little bit of time thinking, are there other tools or automations that could make this even easier for me? I like to use HoneyBook, and Google Sheets is really easy. It's something that I already have available to me, but I could look at creating an integration between HoneyBook and Google so that I don't have to manually enter the information again. So things are running through HoneyBook, and then I go put them into a Google Sheet, and I use QuickBooks for my business because at this point it's not big enough to really need to worry about that. So I just enter the information in Google Sheets, but Zapier would create that integration for me so that I don't have to do that manual integration. And really, for that manual entry, it'll take me 5 or 10 minutes to build that. And then I'm saving all that time month to month. So this is just an activity that you might consider going through to look at, what are the key functions in my business? What are things that are going to break down if I suddenly get pulled away? And how can I put some systems and processes in place to make sure that that doesn't happen?
That's great. What a great tool. I know I'm going to use it.
So we'll share that, and it'll be a link to the Google Sheet that you will need to make a copy of so that you can make it your own. You can clear out the examples that I put there and enter whatever it is that you want to have there.
So let me just ask you a couple questions. I know, everyone's business is unique. Our processes or systems or what we need to create are going to be unique, but are there some tools that you find universally useful?
So software tools Generally speaking, everybody's going to want to have something in place for communication. Email is our primary function for that. So you can choose to use Gmail or Microsoft Office, or if you want to go out and get a domain that belongs with your website so that you can use email there. You're going to want to have a communication tool. You're going to want to have a scheduling tool of some sort so that you can keep track of things, so that if you have a team, they know what to be working through. I really highly recommend that everyone have some way to keep track of their clients. A customer relationship management or a CRM tool is really important for that.
And what do you use for that?
So I am using for my CRM, Entreport is the tool that I have chosen to use, because that will allow me to keep track of my clients. It will, as I build out a team, it will allow me to let the team know what's going on with these clients. Entreport I really enjoy because they're constantly innovating. So within the next month, I should be able to have my calendar tied to Entreport. I can use it for email communication right within the system with my clients. My website is also there. So people can, if someone comes onto my website, they fill out my contact me page, it automatically creates that contact in my CRM.
Oh, that's
good. I do my billing. I said I'm using HoneyBook. I'm moving things to Entreport because I've learned about it in the last few months. So it will handle my sales, my billing, my payment receipts, my abandoned carts, my rejected credit cards, all that kind of thing can be handled within that system. And
nice to have one place to put everything.
It really is. It is really good. And one of the things that I just want to make sure that people are thinking about as I'm building this tool out for myself, as we mentioned, I'm making sure that I understand what my steps are. What are my processes? Entreport does a lot with automation, which is great, but you have to understand where you're going. You don't want to automate garbage. You really have had to work through your processes and your steps to make sure that things are working the way you want them to. Then you build those automations to support those kinds of things. So just there are some logical processes or steps to move through to get from point A to point B. So
that's great. Yeah. Thank you for that. That's helpful. I know that there's so many tools and things that you can use out there, and it's nice to hear, what you use and why you've chosen to use it. So appreciate that.
Sure.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about, we're getting a little short on time here. It's been, I think, a really great conversation so far. We're going to talk about the art of delegation. So this is sort of that third pillar, and seems to be probably the one that people have the most resistance to. We have all of the objections, right? Like, I don't want to lose control. I could do it faster myself than teaching somebody else how to do it. You name it. I'm sure you have your own versions of those objections. But really, if delegation is done properly and intentionally, it can really work well for you and give you more control of your business. And so I just want to kind of talk through that a little bit. If we're going to define delegation, really, it's just the assigning responsibility and authority to others and allowing tasks to be accomplished without your direct involvement. And not only does it lessen the load on you, if done correctly, it also will empower the people that you delegate to with a sense of ownership and responsibility for what they're doing. And then the other piece that kind of goes along with this is that streamlining of the tasks you're going to keep, which will kind of weave into this. So this kind of really hit home for me. It's been something I've dealt with, throughout the years that I've had my business. And I've gone in phases of having people to help and not having people to help. But in 2019, so 3 years ago almost, I had the opportunity to go to Africa for 3 days. And I'm providing all these virtual assistant services for my clients. I'm checking their emails. I'm scheduling appointments for them. I'm doing all of these things involved in their businesses daily. And it was just me. And if I'm not doing the work, I'm not getting paid. So I had to really start thinking about, okay, how am I going to make this work? What am I going to do to make sure my clients are taken care of? Because I also don't want to just leave them for 3 weeks and tell them to go figure it out on their own. That's not a very good customer experience. So this gave me an opportunity to really think through how I would do that, and to find someone that I could entrust my clients to while I was gone. And so I think some of the key strategies and tips that I would pass along as far as delegating goes are, be super clear about what you want. Not only, the steps, but the result. Like, what do you want the outcome to be? There's a lot of ways to skin the cat, right? We can create a formula in Excel in different ways. We can set up our spreadsheets different ways and still get to the same result. So it's not so much about controlling how they do every little thing, unless that is necessary for the process. But it's about helping them understand the outcome, the final goal, and what the expectation is. We so many times do not communicate our expectations. We think that that they go without saying, or that they're somehow just understood, that people can read our minds, and it's not true. And it can create a lot of difficulty. So if you can be super clear about that, that really helps. And then to have that step-by-step process. I'm sure you've probably heard of the team building exercise where you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But you have a team, and one person is the sandwich maker, and the rest of the team has to tell them how to make the sandwich. And the person making the sandwich only does the things the team tells them to do. And it really kind of brings to the forefront those things that we take for granted. Like, you have to tell them to get the bread off the shelf, open the bread, take out 2 slices. We just kind of think, oh, well, we're making a sandwich. They know that. I'm just going to tell them to, put peanut butter on one side and jelly on the other. But if we don't equip people with all of the steps of how we get to where we need to go, we can't expect them to give us a good result. So it's super important to have those documented processes in place so that people can take those along. And for me, I did that when I went to Africa. I created it in Trello, and I have a board for every single client in Trello, and different lists in there that have to do with different tasks that I completed for them, different things that are needed to know. So they have a snapshot of that client and how things work for them. There's a lot of different ways to do it. That was what worked for me. And so you want to be clear, and then you want to provide feedback and ask for feedback. So it's super important that we are letting people know how they're doing. And, this was really awesome. Like, I loved how you did this. I really appreciate the effort you put in that. Next time, could we add this? Or, that wasn't exactly the direction I wanted to go with it. It needs to be more like this. So that you're super clear, again, honing in those expectations, and then asking for feedback. Was I clear in that? Is there more that you need to know? How are you feeling about this? So that it's a two-way conversation, and we're always clear in what's happening and what's expected.
What do you think about that question, Cammie, that as part of that feedback, tell me what you understand that I just asked you to do?
Yes.
So that it's not just, did you understand that, but having them actually tell you what they're going to do.
Yes.
I think that there is some value in that part of that communication.
Absolutely. That's a super helpful tool, because then that lets you know right away if they've really understood, what you're asking for. And so, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That's super helpful. So if you can do these things and if you can implement delegation in a way that is clear and intentional, you can have more control over your desired results. And that kind of takes that objection out of the mix. If you, I mean, you know, yes, it takes time to teach somebody something new, right? It takes time for them to understand how to do something you've been doing for years. And we also have to adjust our own expectations to realize they're not me. They haven't been doing this for years, and give them a little bit of grace to learn the process. And then once you've invested that time up front, then it becomes way faster to have somebody else do it than you. So yes, there's a little bit of investment on the front end, but it's not every single time that task has to be done. It's just in the beginning. And then it becomes much smoother. My dogs are barking, I'm so sorry. So that's another objection that seems to come along a lot. It can be challenging to find the right person. And there's, you know, a lot of opportunities in different places to source people. Fiverr is one, Upwork is another one. I have a VA agency that I work with that I really like, and I refer clients to them, and they will help you create the job descriptions for the VAs to use. So they have a whole system where they will meet with you, find out everything you do, and then create the systems and processes in the job description for the VA then to implement. And so if you feel overwhelmed about thinking about creating job descriptions or even documenting the systems and processes that you want to hand off, there are people out there who will do that for you and help you create that so that then you can pass that along. So you got no reason not to delegate, and not to create systems, and not to create processes. And it will pay off in spades at the end. So I want to leave just a few more minutes. We've got 10 minutes left, so I wanted to leave a little bit of time for questions and next steps. So just real quick, after hearing all of this, are there any questions or thoughts that you have that you might want to ask or share?
There were a couple of things that I thought might be helpful for somebody to think about in the case that you're just whisked away, or that you need to be prepared to be gone at a moment's notice. The likelihood of I'm gone is not real great, but being prepared for it, I think, is important. That's why we have insurance, because we don't know what's going to happen. So we're preparing for the unexpected. Just a couple of quick and easy things. An autoresponder on email. So if you can create your out of office message, you don't have to turn it on, but you can have it ready to go. So if you've got 30 seconds as you're walking out of the house, or before you have to give over your phone, you can turn on your out of office response there. One of the things that I thought about that might be helpful, consider an FAQ section on your website for frequently asked questions that clients might have if you're not there to respond and you don't have a team member who's dedicated to that sort of thing. Maybe that's something that is valuable. If you have, like you said, those evergreen things that are going all the time, you want to have those in place. Have your funnels set up, your delivery methods set up, so that the courses or the digital content or whatever it is that you offer, you've got that automated so that you don't have to be there to make it go out. You can still be sending that out and receiving the money for that. But just a couple of quick things. I like the idea of the FAQ section so that people could get questions, or maybe if it's something more detailed, like what do I do if I need a refund? Put that FAQ as a part of your out of office response so that that list goes out. I am unavailable. Here are some questions you might have. If none of these work, well, I need to hire a VA so they can respond to some of those.
Yes.
So just a couple of things that are pretty simple to put. A funnel isn't necessarily simple, but it's fairly common to have that in place.
I like that. Yes, for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, and I think that too, all of those, yes, all of those little things that we can create that maybe we don't think about having at the ready, like you said, if we're, we're not going to be there. It's like insurance, like you've said before, it's like buying insurance. We don't buy it because we think we're going to need it, but in the event that we might, we want to have it there. And so this is kind of the same thing. Let's create those systems so that even if it's not a catastrophic event or some amazing miracle, all expense paid trip, maybe you want to take a week off or a month off and not think about your business. It's great to have those pieces in place so that you can do that and be able to relax and enjoy your time.
Absolutely.
So I'm just going to real quick talk about how to reach us. And then I know that both Kim and I have some offers we'd like to share with you. So I will, while this is up, I'm going to go ahead and share mine. So if you found value in doing this 1 hour exercise, I do have a 1-day forced retreat workshop that is a one-on-one. I'm not with you for the whole day, but you are without phone, internet, and everything for a day, like for 24 hours. And it is an opportunity to see in real life, in real time, the things that break down and the places where you need immediately to put some pieces in place. And then we work together and we really identify those areas that are the most important priorities and opportunities. And we create a strategic plan for you to move forward and implement. Generally, I charge $14.97 for that. I am doing a workshop special for those of you who are part of the workshop. I'm going to take $497 off the price, so it would be $1,000 for that. That'll be available until Monday. And then I also have a decision matrix that I'm also providing as a freebie. And this is just a quick screenshot of that you can, I'll send you a link for it if you'd like. And if you're interested in that, just let me know and I can send that to you. Normally I would put it in the comments, but I'm not sure that will show in the recording. So I'm not going to put it there. And then the last thing is if you are interested in moving forward, I will also provide a link to my calendar where you can schedule and a quick 15-minute call for us to just talk about if we're a fit, if this would be something that would be useful to you and how we can move forward. So that's me. And Kim, I know you had something you wanted to offer as well.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. So you see my website there on the homepage of my website is a link to a freebie. You can get a top 10 systems that an online business owner needs and why they're important. So feel free then to go to systemssuperhero.com, and on the homepage is that link to that freebie. Similar to Cami, I offer a 90-minute strategy call, normally $179 for workshop attendees who reach out to me before Monday. It'll be $129, so a discount for that 90-minute strategy call where we talk through what are the things that are going on in your business, what are some of the areas that you would like to improve, do you have systems in place, do you want to add them, what can we work on together in 90 minutes. So Cami, should I not put the link to that Google Doc in?
I don't think it will show. I think what we'll do is in the recording, when I post the recording, we'll put it in the comments. We'll put the links in the comments.
Okay, good enough.
So that people can.
We'll put the link to the freebie and to the systems planning grid that you can make a copy of.
Yes.
That'll be great.
Yeah, so we just want to say a huge thank you for taking the time again to be here with us for this hour and really give yourself a big thank you for investing in yourself and your business. And we'll look forward to hopefully seeing you soon. Thanks again.